Welcome to Focus on Claims with Ernie Bray, CEO of ACT.
Hey everyone, Ernie Bray here with another episode of Focus on Claims, continuing the series about the ACT team. And today's guest is Brandon Bryant. Brandon, good to have you on.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Now, Brandon's all out here to California from by ways of Virginia. How's it out here?
It's absolutely beautiful. The weather's perfect in San Diego. Couldn't really ask for better.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you out here. You know, it's been glad, and we're glad to have you part of the ACT team. And in this episode, you know, we're talking a little bit about the team members, but before we jump in, I want to kind of get a little bit of background about you. Tell us your story, like how did you get in the industry and a little bit about your background.
So I've been in the IA space now for about 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to getting into to this side of the industry, I spent about 5 years in the glass business,
Mm-hmm.
a couple of years in vehicle history.
Yep.
And prior to that, spent quite a bit of time in the beverage industry. So a lot of focus on customers, a lot of focus on delivering on client needs, which is very much a part of what we do every day here.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the key. It's all about people, isn't it?
It is. It's people. It's relationships. It's listening. It's finding out what makes people tick. It's finding out what they need, because, you know, at the end of the day, a product is only good as the need it serves. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like I said, when in this interview, we were telling about your backstory. You said you had worked in the glass industry and the vehicle history industry, and then you got into the appraisal side of the industry. What are you seeing? Like when you're talking to clients out there, you know, it doesn't really kind of matter whether it's either of those things. It's customer focus is really the key these days, and with technology being a part of it, while that's great, I still see really the human aspect as a major part of it. And how are you seeing that with the people you talk to?
Well, it's funny because this industry it's similar, yet it's so different from a client perspective. And whether it's glass, vehicle history, in our appraisal space where we're coming to the aid of someone that's had a loss. Mm-hmm. We're furthering their process. It's claims business, so each claim is different. Right. And each process is different. So it's really, it is that relationship. It's building that bond between yourself and your client, whether it's an insurance company, whether it's a third-party administrator, whether it's a fleet company. Mm-hmm. Their processes are all different and their needs are different based on the needs of their client. So a lot of these folks we're working for, they're not the end user of the product. Uh-huh. They're hiring us to take care of their customers. So
gotcha. Really
what we do, we don't really sell anything here. We provide an extension of other companies' business to their client.
So we're serving as that arm for them. We're helping them out.
We absolutely are, and that's why it's so important that in our conversations that we have with our clients, it's a lot more listening than it is us telling them about the things that we do. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times in those conversations, folks are telling you what they need, so you really need to be more of an active listener in those settings than more of a speaker.
What would you say in your interactions with clients that when they deal with you, what they can expect from you as a person and how they deal with you, interacting? Like what can they expect and how you treat them when you're working with them as a client?
Well, I think it in the way that we handle things, Mike O'Leary and myself both work together with all of our clients, whether they're existing clients, whether they're new clients that are looking to start doing business with ACD. We really focus on what's important to them. Mm-hmm. We need to know what the ask is of us, what our responsibilities are going to be, and we really want to make sure that the needs that they're asking us to handle for them are something that we can that we can meet. We never want to overpromise and underdeliver.
Do you ever find that sometimes the customers out there they're needing the advice or they need help because they're trying to figure out a process maybe they haven't done before? Or?
Absolutely. As we said earlier, this business is changing. There's, as you mentioned earlier, there's a lot of conversion over into AI. There's still a part of the business that is in that physical inspection mode, and we know that just like any other industry, technology is playing more of a role. But some folks don't know how that fits within, like for example, their claims ecosystem. They don't know, what is a selfie product, what is a self-service tool. People hear self-service. What does that mean? Well, we provide a tool that allows less touches in the claims process. So these folks, they maybe haven't had that experience, and that's what we bring to the table in those discussions.
And that's great. I think that pretty much our core values of the company is really people, process, and innovation. We talk about that all the time, and I'm a big believer is that we want to take care of the people. Whether it's the network and vendors that we utilize and we work with, our partners we call them, because they're the ones actually out there, delivering on that service and helping organize that process. It's the people that interact with the customers. It's the people we're dealing with when it's the clients. Then it's also that process, and that process is what I think we really also excel at as well.
Absolutely.
Where finding out how to improve their processes at where our clients are, or maybe come, like I said, a new process. But then it also comes down to innovation. Are you seeing a lot of people these days wanting to test out these AI and these technology solutions, or they seem wary of it, or what do you see out there?
I think there's a mixed bag. I think you've had some of the industries move to a full level of adoption, and then through COVID and as things have relaxed and then somewhat heated up again, there's different companies have had different takes on what it means to them, and I think that's why it's important that in our conversations with our clients we find out their needs and we find out what their business plans are moving forward, because a lot of times there's a reaction to what's happening out there in the market with their customer base. There are companies where the fully automated claims process where they're taking photos or sending them in. There's desk reviews because people really don't want that contact. Then there's the larger hits and with these same clients that you really can't estimate the damage based off the photo, and you do need a physical inspection. So what's that look like? And all of that process really comes down to the communication with the client and setting the expectation of what you're going to receive back.
Yeah, you're right, and I think what I'm excited about is the fact that at ACD here we're able to get that flexibility to the client. If they want to go in, more photo estimating, desk review, we can provide that. If it's more of a field approach where they want those inspections, we got that. Desk reviews, we provide what I call that ability to flex between different type of inspections.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what customers really need today. They need to know that they have a solution that will kind of give them what they need. And I think, from your perspective, working with clients, and you said you sit down, you analyze what they're doing. What are some of the things that you've seen, some of the trends that when they come to you and they're looking for service, that they're missing out on? What are some of the things why they come to us and why they come to you? They're seeing from,
Yeah, I think it's important. You just mentioned it. I think having options for clients is really important, and being able to have multiple tools that they can utilize for certain circumstances that they're going to be faced with. There could be a traditional appraisal process that companies always used, and then all of a sudden people don't feel comfortable in the presence of another person via COVID or whatever. Maybe they have a medical condition that prevents that. And then having a product like our selfie product where you can ask that customer to take some photos, send them in, we can write that sheet, whether it be a desk review of a more simple, smaller hit, some scratches on the door of a shopping cart, the having the traditional field appraisal for the larger hits.
Yep.
Really being able to break things down and have those conversations to give them different avenues to take their claim on is what's important to these folks. And I think, for us, when we talk to our clients, a lot of times they have a singular focus when you're in a meeting. Like, if you're looking to buy something or do business with someone, you have a focus in mind, and it's important for us in those conversations to find the need, but to make sure that we're surfacing every possible suggestion of ways that we can help you that maybe they hadn't considered before.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I know pride yourself in, which is really vital, is that your ability to be available to the customers. You're always there trying to figure out a solution for them to make their lives easier. So, and I think that's really what the ACD image is, what we are about. It's about helping customers and delivering on that. Hey, and as we wrap up, and I know you're traveling the country all the time. How can people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you about what we're doing?
So we have multiple ways of getting in touch with us. Obviously, my email address is bbryant@acdcorp.com. It's BRYANT @acdcorp.com. Cell phone number is 434-444-2850. You can always catch us at our website, which is www.acdcorp.com. There's a couple of different ways to get in touch with us there, but follow a few of the links and we're happy to have a conversation, and look forward to speaking with you.
Hey, as we close here, tell our listeners out there something interesting about yourself. What do you like to do in your free time?
In my free time, I pretty much spend all of it either on a basketball court or on a softball field. So I've spent the last probably 25 years on a field or court of some kind, either playing myself or now coaching kids. So I coach JV basketball, and I coach a travel softball team.
Wow, you're busy. That's a lot of time there.
Takes up a lot of time, but it's again, it goes back to those conversations we were having earlier. It's a chance to get involved with people and develop relationships and help build young people.
That's awesome. That's great stuff. All right. Well, hey, thanks for coming on. And for all listeners out there, stay tuned for the next episode, and talk to you later.
This has been Focus on Claims with Ernie Bray, President and CEO of ACD.